Chevrolet is on its way to being extinct and potentially the worst financial catastrophe in the history of the auto industry. All EV manufacturers were caught off guard by a startling warning issued by CEO Mary Barra. She has shocked the middle class with her concentration on expensive electric vehicles and her misguided approach to combustion engines. Mary Barra was also found to be deceiving customers by selling defective vehicles and SUVs, and she must now pay penalties totaling $106 million. Over $1 billion in damages due to thousands of irate workers going on strike. Is it possible that GM's closure will make matters worse? She halted manufacture of the Bolt, one of their best-selling EV models, and she also ceased producing EVs overall. You may believe that you understand everything, but in reality, you don't. It's possible that GM's aggressive goal to push EVs to their limit may do more damage than benefit. They want to completely give up using combustion engines, which might result in their own demise. Mary Barra persistently impedes middle-class consumers' ability to purchase GM electric vehicles. There are markups on their vehicles that might reach $100,000. I'll elaborate on it in a moment. Barra delivered a severe warning to the business at the 39th Annual Strategic Decisions Conference that may have ripples across the whole sector. She said unequivocally that the majority of sales of electric cars worldwide are in the $30,000 to $40,000 price bracket, which is not yet viable. GM is losing money as a result of this rationale, and their company will not turn a profit very soon. You can only imagine the devastation that smaller businesses felt hearing this from one of the largest manufacturers. Their stock price is declining, and Mary Barra has made millions of dollars for herself, but failed to provide employees a decent salary. Examining General Motors' portfolio in more detail reveals that the impending 2024 Chevy Equinox EV is a perfect illustration of this catastrophe. Production is scheduled to begin later this year. Its initial price is anticipated to be in the neighborhood of $30,000. But when this vehicle gets to customers, it will cost up to $40,000. This is where GM is falling short of rivals. Under the hood is where this expense problem originates, or more precisely, in the EV's batteries. Barra believed that even with their exorbitant prices, there will always be a market for their electric vehicles. Foolish people will purchase them. She is now suffering the price for her underestimation of the customer. Once thought to be an unstoppable demand, GM trucks now stacked high on dealer lots. Just 18 Silverado EVs were sold by GM during the third quarter of 2023, despite the vehicle's release. In 2024, there were plans to increase production, especially from the renowned Factory Zero to the Orion Assembly, which was the former location of the Bolt EV's manufacturing. However, businesses are now forced to halt production due to an unpleasant reality, rather than supply chains or labor strikes. Electric vehicle EV consumer excitement is gone. EVs are not the future that everyone had predicted. By 2035, GM intends to cease selling ICE engines and switch to just selling electric vehicles. However, if current trends continue, GM may not exist in 2035. GM has increased manufacturing of its range of electric vehicles, including the GMC Hummer and Cadillac Lyrics. The company even produces battery cells on an impressive scale in Ohio. Considering that GM depends on Chinese vendors for both manufacture and delivery, these battery cells come at a high cost. Additionally, this significantly increases the weight of the car, reducing its range. In the next years, their own new ultimate battery strategy should resolve this problem, but Ms. Barra, could you please explain why they are selling EVs that have defects? It goes beyond just turning over cars. Quality counts. Additionally, hurried manufacturing led to flaws in the initial softs that were delivered to consumers, severely harming GM's reputation and in some cases even posing a risk of fatalities. Despite GM's remarkable production skills, there have been concerning signs that the company may be putting profits ahead of product quality in the face of a quickly changing market and new difficulties. The route was far from smooth, much like Factory Zero's ability to manufacture up to 1 million automobiles yearly. Production issues were encountered with the Lyric, Autonomous Shuttle, Cruise, Origin, and Hummer EV. The decision to recall 994,763 cars was made by the firm because of possible airbag problems. This recall affects certain models of the Buick Enclave, Chevrolet Traverse, and GMC Acadia range that were produced between 2014 and 2017. Fears that the airbags in these cars would burst as they were being deployed brought attention to this extensive recall. GM has been requested to do a more thorough examination by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, WHITES, which has been looking into a wider problem involving 67 million airbags made by ARC Automotive. More specifically, there's a chance that in an accident, the driver's airbag inflator in certain GM cars might burst, sending jagged metal pieces flying into the cabin. There is a considerable chance of deaths or severe injuries in such an incident. For the 2020-2023 Chevrolet Equinox and GMC Terrain models, GM has started a second safety recall in addition to the previous one. The rear seat lower child seat latch is a source of concern for 668,187 automobiles in total. According to reports, there may be an excessive layer of powder coating on these latches, which prevents child seats from being firmly fastened to the anchoring bars. The troubles of GMC reach the legal arena. A jury in California awarded GM an astounding $103 million for concealing engine flaws that caused many SUVs and trucks to stall and prematurely break down. These flaws, which span automobiles sold from 2015 to 2019, suggest that quality may have been sacrificed in order to maximize revenues. Their credibility is further damaged by the lawsuit, which suggests that GM may have been engaging in this activity as early as 2010. There are also other outside variables at work. There are repercussions to the industry's move to NACS. GM's existing KCS-equipped vehicles may be losing appeal in North America as buyers hold off on buying EVs compatible with Tesla's supercharger network. It's still true that early adopters have had enough. It's the mainstream purchasers who are still in need of persuasion. Their legitimate worries include the high price of EVs, poor charging infrastructure, and decreased performance in cold climates. Range anxiety will never go away in the absence of trustworthy charging options. If the EV dilemma wasn't enough, however, GM is in for further difficulties. Their Q4 sales have dropped precipitously by 43 to a level not seen since bankruptcy, mostly due to the worldwide scarcity of microchips. They used to be able to compete head-to-head with industry titans like Toyota, but last year they lost out by almost 129,000 automobiles. Consequently, GM has been hit by a wave of shutdowns. They have put most of their factories in North America on hold. The fact that so few of the plants that produce cars like the Camaro and Corvette are still in operation shows how lucrative their most successful models are. And further wrinkle is that strikes have affected GM's main Arlington facility, which produces their most lucrative full-size SUVs. The reason behind this is that, although the UA union stresses a fair salary share, GM is under financial constraints. The company's future and profitability are in jeopardy. Ford, another major player in the industry, moving toward total electrification, is doing the same thing as GM. Their best-selling electric car, the F-150 Lightning, has lately had to have its manufacturing halted. This has sparked a lot of curiosity, particularly in light of the dramatic 46% decline in sales during the third quarter of 2023. At light of this predicament, Ford built an astounding 92,000 electric cars of EVGs, which are still unsold at showrooms. This stands in striking contrast to combustion engine automobiles, which typically sell in 48 days, as opposed to the 92-day average for EVs. The move's financial ramifications are as astounding. Ford expects to lose a staggering $4.5 billion on its electric vehicle sector only this year. This is on top of a $2.1 billion loss the year before. Conversely, manufacturers such as Stellantis, Honda, and BMW have consistently rejected this drive for EVs, claiming that the prohibition on internal combustion engines is needless and inflexible. They believe the government is pressuring automakers to produce more electric vehicles. Companies should avoid selling expensive EVs with pointless features and concentrate on reducing pollution via other fuels, rather than giving up on ICE engines. Businesses like Ford and GM need to concentrate on selling vehicles in the $30,000 range, since this is where the majority of their market is found. We may soon see Mary Barra guiding GM to its total demise if the company keeps misinterpreting the market. So pay attention, Mary Barra and all the other CEOs who flaunt their wealth. Middle class has reached its limit. Let me tell you though, if GM believes they're having issues right now, wait till their employees and devoted clients start to turn against them. That's not just an issue. It's a major catastrophe with the potential to destroy the business as a whole. In this conflict between the middle class and the big automakers, whose side are you on? Tell me in the comments section below. I have published a video with significant information that might harm the EV market as a whole. If you want to be genuinely surprised by what's going to happen with EVs, definitely check it out.